say I gotta go, guys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
gotta
got
go.
no, not yet. We got warnings.
What do you have warnings of? What's going on? Tell us. Fill
Oh,
the.
we got
Give us your
tornado
warnings.
warnings. We got tornado
You
warnings.
got a 2-minute warning. Here we go.
Yeah, hey, hit the siren button for me.
Hey, where's the siren button? Where's it at? Where's the old school?
Hey, you know what I want? Give me what I want.
Hold on.
Come on, it's there. Get one of
What
those
do you
buttons.
want?
Tell me what you
Tell
want.
me what you want.
You saw,
I know where you were going.
Yeah.
I know where you're going. There used to be an old.
Yeah,
Where's the old
I know where
spoiler
you're going.
alert siren? Where is it? Do I have it?
It's on the third page, second button.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna find this thing.
It's there. It's there. While you look for it, I want to do some show and tell. Can I?
Hey, yeah, you were asking me something about that too. I didn't get a chance to answer your question about.
Yeah, so we'll revisit it. We'll revisit it.
All
So
right.
we're gonna build up. I got a few show and tells here.
Oh, do you? Please.
All right. So first, real quick, you know how I like to connect my Hot Wheel cars. I got another Batman edition.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
This
like
is the
it.
Batman and Robin.
Find them, yeah.
Batman and Robin. So this one was pretty cool.
Thanks for sending me one. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And then and so if you look in the background here, it's right over here, you can't really see it now at this point. I used to have the DeLorean Lego set. Well, I popped the box open.
Okay.
It's back.
You don't have to show it. Just keep talking about it.
I popped the box open
want
and
to
I
see
started building it. And I just wanted to show you guys. This is
You
the
started
manual.
building it, really?
This is the manual for that.
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
building that.
Oh my.
Look how thick that bad boy is.
Yeah, it's like that's a walkthrough book for a game.
Yeah, that's a strategy guide.
Yeah.
Hey, does that say Final Fantasy 7 on the front?
Out of time. But what's really cool, just so you guys know, it has some behind the scenes stuff for Back to the Future, which
That's really nice.
yeah, so that was pretty cool. So those were the two little quick things. But I wanted to I picked up something over the weekend while I was gone, and here's the first one.
Okay, all right, nice. I like it.
Oh man,
so this is Ezra's.
That's Ezra. Yeah,
yeah, very nice.
Yeah, and here's the piece that goes on the top if you take the lightsaber off,
which is good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. But the really nice one here.
Oh, you can barely
Can't hear anything he's saying.
Yeah.
He's like,
The really nice one here. This is the one that just came out, brand new.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it is nice. Man, if you had good internet, it might come in even better.
So it's really cool. So these things come down to put these on.
Okay.
These actually screw on.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so these screw on, and you have to pull the sides down to put it on, because when you close it, it clicks right into it.
Yeah, I like that.
Right there.
I like that.
So
that's pretty cool.
This was really nice, and it's a Jedi. It's a Jedi from the High Republic. So did the research on it.
Did you?
Yep. And last but not least.
Okay.
All right.
So since we didn't go to the $4,000 for 2 nights excursion, here's the lightsaber from the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Oh, is that you? Yeah, so you end up getting that, huh?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Very
and
cool.
it comes with, if I can show you real quick.
Is that the one they use for demonstration?
It comes with the whatever the language is that the letters, and you can put them. You can put it right here. So and the lightsaber is blue. Make sure Moose check yours. So because I don't know, something was weird with mine, just to be honest.
Yeah.
So
check that out.
But I will tell you, from all of them, this one does feel the flimsiest out of all three.
Yeah. This is the one from
the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Star Cruiser. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it's a combination of a Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker top, Darth Vader bottom kind of deal, but it doesn't have like, you know how the front of the cases they usually show if they're like Jedi or This one is actually, I don't know what this symbol is. If you guys can help me with that.
Oh, it's a Pokemon symbol.
Oh,
it's a sideways Pokemon ball.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon ball.
Yeah, okay. The mystery solved. but yeah, so
it's the collab between Pokemon and Star Wars.
Yeah, there you go. That's the starting Pokemon. But yeah, I picked those up right there. So those are hopefully by next week I'll have
the Pokemon ball ever is what that was.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So hopefully by next week I'll have the DeLorean done for you guys.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, can I tell you something about a DeLorean? Hey, check this out. So if you go, did you know that they sell a DeLorean key, like a key fob?
No,
they don't.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you got it.
Well, it's on its way.
Oh no!
I ordered it. I figured, I should have that versus you.
Yeah,
that makes sense because he has the Darth Maul.
Yes. Now I'm willing to barter.
Right.
Yeah,
we could barter.
Yeah, you have an opportunity.
So, you let me know. Let me know.
Went up since I know you're willing to barter. So just so you know,
I changed my mind.
All right, forget about it.
Yeah. I was going to give you this coin.
This was a limited edition DeLorean key fob and key. So you can't get them anymore. But I do have it.
Okay.
Sorry.
I got a flipper coming on the way. By the way.
A what?
Flipper Zero.
Yeah. Really?
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. You need that.
Yeah. So
you need that. Yeah. That's cool. I ordered the new DeLorean, the new one that's coming out in 2025. I did
you really
for that already? Yeah.
Man. Did you get the premium package that has all the Back to the Future stuff in it?
Yep.
That's funny. It's funny. I didn't want to mention. I was going to surprise when I got it. I got the H4, the new Hummer.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I got that. That's on the way.
That's cool.
That's on the way. It's the one with the self-driving, all electric,
Oh, of course, yeah.
The wheels that turn like this.
Yeah, I did a Kickstarter for the hoverboard. I'm on the
nice.
I'm on a Kickstarter piece for the hoverboard. Yep.
Moose, that was a secret.
I know.
It wasn't supposed to come out yet.
Listen, since we're sharing secrets here,
so he can't.
I got the board on the way. Moose hooked me up with it. So
listen, since we're sharing secrets, man, I didn't want to tell you guys until it was ready to go. I'm part of the development team that's making an actual lightsaber. So, and so I just want you to know it's about to come out. It works. It's official. Yeah. This is going to change me over from hoverboard to lightsaber. I just want you to know.
Oh, this is what's going to happen?
This is the one right here.
Next week, we'll see his entire wall behind him in pieces.
It worked, guys. It works.
Well, that's cool. When I get my DeLorean, though, I'll go back in time and I'll take Game Got Out. I'll make sure he never existed. So
there you go.
Hey, you got me. You got me. I can't. I don't got another one. I don't know what to respond.
Time travel. You can't ever beat time travel.
You can't
beat it. Ask the Flash.
And just for funny giggles here, I watched Back to the Future 3 2 nights ago.
And how did you feel about it?
You know what? I actually enjoyed it.
Oh, did you really?
I did.
Listen,
because
I told people recently, I'm like, yeah, that one doesn't exist. You don't need to watch that one. And I just
it's and I think the reason why you can say it doesn't exist is because it really does pull on the string one too many times on what it's the same same trick, different dog kind of deal.
Yeah.
But if you can get past that piece,
or pony.
Yeah, one trick pony. Yes, that's the one. If you can get past that, thanks for Moose for pointing it out.
You're welcome.
I forgot there was a time traveling train. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't have that.
I actually have the Lego set right here.
You know what? I actually have the train. It's right outside.
Does it come with the logs?
Yes.
That are numbered?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, good.
All right.
Yeah. No, I actually it wasn't as bad as
I got Mr. Potato Head and Woody right here, so I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, but we got a comment there in the YouTube there. I don't know what that says there. But I wanted to say that.
Yeah. Which one? Oh, the creator ruined the show. Yeah. That may be true. It might be talking about
Back to the Future?
Yes.
Yeah. If you can get past some of the cheesy stuff, it wasn't that bad. I was like, I wouldn't watch it again. And I was going back to.
You give it a 7.5? Is that what you gave it?
Yeah, I did. Solid. It was better than Endgame. I can tell you this.
Oh, you got to cut him off, Moose. He's had too much.
Yes. Hey, I just want you to know. Last thing before we start segueing to the episode. When we go through our final four here, I was actually going through this list again in my head after I watched Back to the Future 3. And I was saying to myself,
he's mad.
I was exactly right. I am mad. I was like, Back to the Future should be in the Final Four. This is a travesty. It is the inventor of time travel.
Hey, once you save that for the pod, save that for when we start. Calm down.
Listen, I just had to get it out. I'm sorry.
Miyagi. Oh yeah, Miyagi-Do. Yeah. Man, we haven't gotten to
let's get started.
Oh, hold on with that. we haven't gotten to the Cobra Kai stuff yet. Hold on, we're gonna talk about that. That's gonna be funny because listen, here's the deal. That I can't talk about it.
No, talk about it. Cue the music.
All right,
cue the music.
Let's do a little intro here, and then we'll get started. Here we go. All right, you ready for another episode of Podcast for Sci-Fi? Well, you've got it. How about the final battle in the battle of the big shows? The battle of the big screen is what we called it, I think, right? How about some trailers? Gladiator 2, Cobra Kai, Agatha, all trailers out. House of the Dragon has, I think, episode number 4 is out. Let's talk about that. Anything else comes up? Any kind of Disney stuff? Maybe some Disney travels from one of the podcast members. All that and a little bit of more.
According to Wikipedia, a nerd is a person seen as overly intellectual, obsessive, introverted, or lacking social skills. Many so-called nerds are described as being shy, quirky, pedantic, and unattractive. We're here to prove Wikipedia right.
Oh, look who they let in.
This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. If it's fantasy, sci-fi, gaming, movies, interviews, we're talking about it. We're talking about it. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, and here's your host, Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike.
Welcome to Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Episode number 438 right here. Yeah, we got a whole lineup in store for you tonight, so be ready to add your 2 cents. If you're listening on your favorite podcast app, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Also, share it with a friend or two. We would appreciate that. If you are live in Facebook, in YouTube, you can always catch us live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 p.m. Ish Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. So you can always catch us live and participate in the podcast. We're bound to call you out in the show to talk about something if you if you join us. So thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, there's a lot to get to tonight. Let's go ahead and get started because we were started late because we started talking about a lot of other stuff. So let's just dive right in.
Can I say something because this is part of what we do, right? Because we have the tailgating piece.
Yeah.
And Game God brought up Back to the Future. He just watched the 3rd episode or the 3rd movie, and he's so it got me thinking. I had just recently saw A Quiet Place, the day 1.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Which is the most recent one.
Yes, okay. The last one at the beginning.
Right, exactly. And the only reason why I wanted to bring it up was because as you talked about Back to the Future, and you were like, "Oh man, it was not really needed." It's just something else to have on, just to whatever they did. Quiet Place, day 1, is probably the most unneeded movie in any series that I've seen.
Tell me more, Magic Mike.
Well, it's unfortunate because anything that you're going to say that you think happened in the movie, that's exactly what happened in the movie. Because you already know what's happened. You saw day 1, part 2. And now I will say this, and I'm gonna butcher this name.
Rob says, "Was it
Lupita Nyong'o's?"
Yeah.
She did an awesome job, which is unfortunate because I love her acting. But I say it's unfortunate because the movie itself was just not necessary.
Really, it was that bad, Magic Mike.
It was that. So they would bring in some things and then never even go anywhere with it. And you're like, well, there's nowhere to go. We've already seen the next 2 installments that happened. This is the prequel, and you're going to say, well, here's a setup for something that is not going to exist in the future because there's nowhere to go with it. It just created a lot of plot holes. It was not good.
Rob says, does he need to watch the others to understand? I think if you watch the others, you ruin this movie. So
by the way, if you watch the others, you don't need to watch that movie because you already know what the end outcome is. It's so funny because you can see a lot of prequel stuff is like that though.
Yeah,
because you know the outcome, so you're like, unless you're just really curious or a huge fan of that type of whatever it is that you're watching, whether that's House of the Dragon, to the Game of Thrones, or whether that's Star Wars Phantom Menace to Star Wars A New Hope. Like, unless you just really, if it's good, that actually helps. If it's horrible, well then you can shelf it.
Well, here's the thing: when you bring up The Quiet Place, 1, 2, and day one, listen, I can't imagine any human surviving in this because it's just not possible. If these things are as sensitive to sound as they say they are, there is no way you can live.
Everything dies.
It's not possible. So the way they showed
this is where you want to go with sci-fi show. You want to go and say, well, it's not possible. That couldn't have happened. All the things we talk about, you're going to say that. And I don't want to get into a debate about Quiet Place and whether or not the aliens would hear you, but there's so many flaws you could pick out in anything. So
I get it.
I don't want to go that direction.
I'm just saying the concept of the movie. I'm not saying that the flaws in the movie, like if there's something wrong with the movie. I'm just saying that just the concept of the movie. When it first came out was cool. To make 2 more after, it's like now you start really harping on the fact that it's like, oh man, that doesn't work. So I think it's kind of like Back to the Future when you look at 1, 2, and 3. When you get to the third one, you're like, a train
again,
really?
Right.
So but anyway, as we go into our trailers here, let's you guys want to dive into what? Cobra Kai? You want to dive into Cobra Kai?
Yeah, go Cobra Kai. Let's hit it. Cobra Kai.
All right, so season 6. First of all, season 6.
Yes.
Who would have thought season 6?
Nobody would have thought season 6. I wouldn't.
You want to talk about trying to hold on to the money bag here and trying to get every nickel and dime out of it. But what's even worse is that it's a season 6 part 1.
Part 1. I saw it. It said part 1. I'm like, are you kidding me? You couldn't fit everything in the first half. Hey, by the way, Magic Mike, quick question for you before as we delve into Cobra Kai here, but is number 3 installment of A Quiet Place, should it be the first? If you watched it in order, like if you went back and said, I'm watching number 3 first, would it make more sense? And would it translate better?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. That's all I'm gonna know. I move on. I was just answering Rob's question. That's all I was trying to do.
Hey Rob, just watch 1 and 2. You're good.
I just watch 1. That's your point.
That's true. So part 1. Here's the thing. Is it part 1 because you only want to put out 5 episodes instead of putting the 10 episodes of season 1 or 10 episodes in the season?
Yeah.
We saw the trailer, and guys, can I tell you, I got nothing from this trailer. I'm like, what is this about? Because all they showed was the
show John Kreese coming back.
Yeah, okay.
Plot
story hold. There's a hole in the plot line there. I thought he was in jail.
There's an answer for that. I'm sure they'll answer for that. And it's unfortunate that like the Terry Silver character, like even one we have in the chat room here, I like the Terry Silver.
I do too.
Yeah,
I think he did. He was the only one that was even worse than Kreese, because Kreese is I like his character. They just started to soften him up.
Yeah, exactly right. And then,
well, you got the sense as we explored the other Cobra Kai seasons that he was kind of brought up that way a little bit. Terry, he was just a bad guy.
Straight out bad. That's exactly right.
But can you do another season of Terry?
Listen, I don't know what Game God's talking about, because I absolutely disagree with him saying he got nothing from this trailer. I feel like I watched the entire part 1. I feel like I know exactly what's going to happen.
You're right.
When it's going to happen.
Mike, you're right.
And but that's what you felt like. You just got it all right there. You're like, all of a sudden we're all good buddies, and you know that they're going to have to go at it together. As teachers now, as as masters, they're gonna be, oh no, this way we're gonna do it this way. No, we're gonna do it this way, and they're gonna go at it.
Biggie says the Kreese is a lame villain. Now I think that which Kreese? Which Kreese? Because for me, when I look at Kreese now, I still see old Kreese. Like or I should say young Kreese, because that's who I see. And when you just take in his the fact of where he came from, and that look, he was training Johnny to sweep the leg. I mean, that to me, I take it back to those moments. And I think that's what gives Kreese, for me, the bad guy role. Now, I think Terry Silver is a better bad guy. I do. I think that
is it because he's younger and he can move?
Maybe. or maybe because you have a different sense. You're like, oh, this guy's, he's rich. He's he has power. He has, so it's about having that again. It's kind of like Kingpin, with karate. Like you like Kingpin as a character, as a bad guy. And I think that's why people like Terry Silver as well.
Well, Terry Silver, he checks all the boxes, right? He's rich. He's got power. He's an egotistical maniac. He's all those things that make.
He's got a great smile. He's got a great smile,
and a great smile, and he's good. Kreese. I think Kreese. Again, making the chat room says Kreese is weak. Now, is he weak because he's older now? Like, is he because he's old? He can't move. And if that's the case, you might be right, right?
Yeah.
But if you're going on Kreese as a character. The only thing I didn't like is how they tried to humanize Kreese by giving the backstory. It's the time old tale of listen, I don't need to know. You don't need to tell me how. You don't need to tell me how Han and Chewie met.
Yes.
I don't need to know how Yoda grew up. Like keep those things mystery for me.
Yeah.
And I think doing that, they took Kreese down a notch or two.
Well, I think Kreese represents the ultimate bully, meaning he's the guy that he sets all this up. He's like, no, we're going to treat him this way. This is what we're going to do to him. And then when they're punched in the mouth, they kind of back down a little bit. And this is kind of what we got to see through the season. So I'm okay with that. But versus Terry Silver, who is just the ultimate he's the bad guy.
Yeah, there's no back.
I guess maybe that's the difference.
Terry Silver's the bad guy you just got to get rid of. Like he doesn't go away for a couple of episodes.
And he's hard, but that's the thing. He's hard to get rid of because he does have power, because he does have money, because he does have a mean streak, because all these things.
So last season, you think the right, they got Kreese in there as looks like he's going to be the bad guy. Do we expect Terry to make a run in the second part of season 6 to get all the bad guys out at one shot?
I think so.
You think so?
I think they're going to do it. But I think they're setting up too. I think part 2 is they're setting up the new movie. Yeah, it's coming.
Yes.
Well, I mean, this does not look impressive at all. I feel like they probably should have stopped a couple seasons ago. Season 4 maybe would have been a good one to stop at. But
really,
yeah.
Well, I think
there was some feel good stuff there in season 5, right? There was some. We got to see some of the buddies come back into play. But as far as the season goes, it's a Cobra Kai season. I didn't feel it was on par.
I think I have to agree with Magic Mike Moose. I think I have to agree with Magic Mike because I think as the seasons go longer or as the series go longer, the fight scenes seem to get a little worse.
Okay. I think that it should have been more focused, and I kind of agree with the chat room saying, look, I think that the focus is too much, maybe too much around Miyagi-Do, and it should be more Cobra Kai. I mean, this is what the series is called.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk more about Cobra Kai?
Yeah, that's true. If we're gonna talk about Miyagi-Do, it should be Miyagi-Do Kai.
No, I'm just saying, like, the whole season started out as, when you reintroduce it as Cobra Kai, and I'm not saying you shouldn't talk about Miyagi-Do. I'm not even saying don't talk about it. I'm just saying that the focus should be around Johnny and what he has going on, because
it was right.
It was, yeah. So
listen, I think season 6 is gonna flake out. I think we're gonna get through. We're gonna barely make it through part 1, and part 2 gonna be like, you guys, when are you guys watching? Tell me about it.
That happens sometimes. Let's talk about Agatha trailer real fast here. So maybe I showed my hand. Agatha trailer, I see it. I get nothing from it. You didn't get anything from the Cobra Kai trailer. I got 0 from Agatha. I'm done. Next.
Go ahead, Magic Mike.
Ditto. I mean, what else is there to say, really? We're going to spend time on a trailer that it wasn't good to begin with. And we feel like we're just revisiting what we've already been watching. And I also feel like what Marvel is, we're going back to what we said we were trying to get away from, right? And Disney said, we're going to come back, and we're going to come back strong. No, not with Agatha. Not going to happen.
Not happening.
You know, I watched this trailer. I thought I was watching a horror film. I'm like, what? This has nothing to do with Marvel. Like, who? First of all, who's Agatha again? Like, I know she was in WandaVision, but besides that, like, who cares? The second thing,
importantly, who cares? Yeah.
The second thing is, I mean, was there blood in this? Did I see blood in that? It was just like, it was just weird. I thought the trailer just wasn't a Marvel-ish type trailer. I thought the series doesn't seem to fit. It felt like it was like a Sony Productions, like it was like Morbius or
like Morbius. Exactly right. It doesn't fit, and it won't fit, and it'll flop just like that.
Yeah, it feels like they're trying to follow like the Venom piece of it, or like you said, Morbius.
No, you know what they're trying to follow is the Acolyte. That's exactly what they're trying to follow. Because this is one of these things that just don't fit. You know,
don't fit.
They're probably doing a good job of that then.
And if it don't fit, you must have quit. All right. Speaking of quitting, so we got Gladiator 2.
That's too soon.
Now, I talked to you guys about this a long time ago. Gladiator 2 trailer.
A few months.
What do you think about this?
Oh, well, let me go first on this, if you don't mind.
Please.
Man, you were right, Moose. This is awesome. I thought this movie, like, I saw the trailer. The trailer came out. I believe the trailer came out today. I watched it 3 times. And I'm a big, huge Denzel Washington fan, right? Mm-hmm. And I was hoping that he just wasn't a name in the movie, right? Because you know, Denzel's probably on the back end of his career at this point, right? I think he's on the back end of his career. But man, this is like Training Day Denzel in Gladiator, you know. The other thing is I don't know who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, so to speak, yet. I think that you kind of get an idea. As you piece it together, it looks like it's the son growing up, and I don't know where Pablo Pascal's character comes into play as well. But I got to tell you, this just feels like Gladiator continuing. And I think, did it say Ridley Scott was the director?
Yeah, Ridley Scott.
Yeah, Ridley Scott.
He did the first one. Yeah,
man, you can't go wrong. I think it's gonna be a hit. I think it's gonna be a hit.
I think it might be a hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in here, Moose, because I know you're gonna finish it off. Here's my issue with this trailer. This was a 3-minute long trailer. It's like 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Way too long. They gave way too much. It looks great. Don't get me wrong, but it's too much. I'd rather have like because they show where the gladiator comes from. He's the boy. I'd rather that have been a surprise. I'd rather see some other things, or it would have been cool to hear Denzel. Because when I heard Denzel's voice, to again God's point, I was like, oh man, that's so awesome. He's in it. And then I saw him, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but I would rather have just heard the voice and not show him and him say some line, just because of the anticipation, the surprise I would like to have gotten. But I think they showed way too much, even though it looks great. But I feel like I know the story now and where it's going to end up going, and I would wish I didn't.
Now, every time I watched this trailer twice, and each time I watched it, I'm like, oh, the end is coming. No, that's not the end. That's not the more of the trailer. No, more to the trailer, because I anticipated, cutting off and that'll be the end of the trailer. It never happened when I anticipated it happening. So I agree to your point. I think it was too long, but I think that's almost every trailer for every movie that comes out nowadays. You get too much, and you can figure everything out before it happens. Now, with that being said, I really hope that it's as epic as it could be. Yeah. With Denzel having such a large part to Game God's point, is that it has really good potential of being an epic movie. I think he's a bad guy in this whole piece too. I mean, I think he's
I think so.
Listen, I think the trailer needed to be that long, and here's the reason why. It's 24 years since the first trailer, since the first movie. The Gladiator came out in 2000. 24 years later, people don't even remember Gladiator, probably, who didn't see it. Like, we got a generation who hasn't even seen the movie, right? So there's got to be some, who's this person? Who's that person? Who's this person? So I think that the trailer was purposely done so it will get you to go back and say, oh, let me go watch the first one, because I think, okay, that kid's from the first one. I
like the way you're thinking there.
Right? Yeah, but here's where I'm going to disagree with you. What's the next trailer going to be about?
You don't need a next trailer. It comes out in November.
There's going to be another trailer. There's going to be another trailer.
Oh, all they're going to do is remix this one.
No,
you can do it in different order.
This is the teaser trailer.
Yeah, the next one's 5 minutes.
Yeah,
next one's the end credits.
8.5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I really do think that they needed to make this trailer to allow you to say, okay, who are the people in play? Why are these people important? And I get it. I get what you're saying, Magic Mike. Save it for the movie. But I think they're worried that 24 years later, the movie won't pull people into the theaters based on the name anymore.
Oh, I would disagree with that 100%. I think if it, and I understand what you're saying. I do.
Because we watched the movie.
Right. But even those who haven't watched it, they're going to look at this movie and go, oh, I want to see this movie. It's got Denzel in it. It's a Gladiator movie. Come on. What's not to want to see?
Okay. Yes and no, because the last movie Denzel did was what? Equalizer 3?
Yes.
And how many people ran to the theaters to see that?
Yeah, but you're talking about a third installment.
Moose raised his hand and put it back down.
You had to pull it back down real quick. You're talking about a third installment. You can't compare that. What about the first one? Equalizer, the first one.
Back to the Future 3. How many ran out and saw that?
Yeah, exactly.
They did it. They did it.
Right. Exactly. You can't compare a third installment to it. Come on.
JP in the chat room says, what does the movie have to offer you? Watch the trailer.
Well, I mean, you can say that about everything. Any trailer.
Watch a Star Wars trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying. This was one of the longer trailers, but I wasn't complaining about it. I actually wanted more. And that's a good thing because I want to see the movie. I love
because you wanted the movie. That's what you wanted.
Yeah,
you wanted the movie to be out, not the trailer. Is what you wanted.
Absolutely. And I loved the first Gladiator. It's a movie that I can put on now, watch it from beginning to end, and sit there and watch it in its entirety and be happy with it. So I am excited to see this. I hope it doesn't become like a sequel to the movie 300. Remember when 300 came? 300 was great.
Oh,
they made the second one. I don't even remember.
I didn't even know they made a second one. I think
they made 3, to be quite honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. But
like, so the first one was like 300, and the second one was like
301.
301. Hey, 300 day one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just hope it doesn't become that. So
Let's move on. I think we've got some interesting pieces there. I'm excited to see it. I will tell you that. Coliseum burns down. All right, let's go. If history serves us right, it all falls apart. All right, let's talk about the final battle. Now we've been doing this for over the past few weeks in the Battle of the Big Screens, and we've narrowed this down to what? Four
movies left.
The final four.
The final four.
We started with 60
movies.
I just don't believe that, Moose. I know he says that every time, but it doesn't feel like we started with 60.
We started with 60.
Decade, like versus decade, inside the decade. Like, so you have intra-decade, you have decade versus decade, and then now we're down to 4 movies that survived, and this is the battle.
So Back to the Future's in there.
Hey, can you give us a recap there, Game God? The true recap?
It's a true recap. So listen, it comes down to, you just want the 4 last teams?
The 4?
Yeah, just the 4, yeah.
Okay, so on the left side, you have Star Wars Episode 4, so A New Hope.
Okay.
That's what, 80s? Is that from the 80s?
A New Hope? That's
Yeah.
78, 79.
Yeah.
Okay, so a movie from the 70s.
77?
77.
Yeah, I think it's 77.
A movie from the 70s. Made it out of the decade, okay?
Okay.
Versus, and you're not going to give me the winner now. I'm just going to tell you who it versus.
Okay.
Fellowship, the Lord of the Rings. Fellowship, Fellowship of the Ring.
Ooh.
Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings. Okay.
What was that, 90s? Or was that 2000s?
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I think that was like 01, I think.
I think it was early 2000s, yeah.
I think it was 2000s.
Yeah, 2000s. So the 70s versus the 2000s, okay? And on the other side of the podium, right, you got Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Which was what, 90s? Is that 90s? 80s.
Ow.
80s. 80s. I'm sorry, 80s.
Kidding me? 84.
2010s? Is that what it was?
80s. And versus The Force Awakens.
Oof.
Wow.
This is a Star Wars show that made it to the top.
Yep.
This is crazy.
So 2010.
This is not biased at all. This is not.
No.
None of this has anything to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
Hey, Moose, you had shared one we talked about the Lord of the Rings.
Nothing.
You had shared one on, I think it was on TikTok, where somebody had responded and talking about, of course, it's Lord of the Rings, because Game God was complaining that Lord of the Rings made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's interesting. We have Lord of the Rings and just might as well say Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now this is it, guys. I mean,
okay. So
Listen, I want to say how we got here. I want to see how we got here.
But it's a foregone conclusion. You got 4 versus 1. I don't think there's any question that one of these three. I say 4 versus 1, 3 versus 1. I don't think there's any question that one of these three is going to make it to the top.
Yeah. Well, it has to.
Which one? And the one that I would suspect that would have beat almost all of them, you guys voted me out of. And that was The Empire Strikes Back. I can't believe.
Sorry.
No. I don't think so. I think we got the right.
It wouldn't have made it to the top.
I think we got the right ones here. What do you think, Magic Mike?
Absolutely. It would not have made it to the top with me and Game God here.
Well, I want you to know something. You got the one that started it all.
Yes.
New Hope, right? You got the one that revitalized it, Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Right? And you got the Return of the Jedi, which was where it took it to the next level. Right? Yeah. So you got 3.
I'd argue that Empire took it to the next level, but okay.
No, Magic Mike, what do you think? Who took it?
No, I'm with you. We've already said that. So that's why Empire's not here.
Yeah, that's right. Listen, Return of the Jedi is McDonald's, Empire Strikes Back is Burger King.
No idea how wrong you are. But
right, so you got 3 iconic Star Wars films, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the iconic Lord of the Rings film, right? There wouldn't be any other Lord of the Rings film without Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
Right. So and
but we're not doing that argument.
I know, but it's funny. It's funny how you have the movie that started it all for the Star Wars franchise, New Hope, against the movie that started it all for the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, right? And so it's just funny how those two right there. So
let's get to it because you're making me mad. Let's get to it.
Hey, did I say I meant Empire? No, I'm right. Return. So listen, I'm gonna go first, guys, because I'm gonna let you guys fight it out.
What do you mean gonna let us fight it out?
I'm gonna let you fight it out.
Easy.
All right. So New Hope versus Fellowship, and I got to tell you,
this really is the heavy. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Hey, balloons.
Yeah, balloons for everybody. This is really the heavyweight battle right here.
It is.
This is new versus old. This is Gen X versus Gen Z. I don't know if even that's correct. I just thought I'd say that.
Sounds good.
But yeah, millennials versus Gen X. Yeah, I think. Yeah. But this is really the deal. So let me hear who you got, Game God.
So I've seen these 4. I've gotten time to mill over them, really think about them. I put a lot of thought into these, right?
Lay it out there. Come on.
No, I'm taking my time here. So A New Hope for me was an amazing film. As you can see,
I know where you're going. Okay.
As you can see, I have all this stuff here.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings for me, it took me a few times to really get into it. Right? It wasn't a movie that I watched the first time and it sucked me in. So I was thinking, does one movie become better because it took me in the first time or took me in after a couple of times? And I gotta tell you, where I'm leaning to this with, I got all this stuff right here. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Fellowship of the Ring, because
I know.
Because here's the reason why. There's nothing like it, right? The Lord of the Rings as a series, there's nothing like it. This other movies have tried. They've tried to become what it is, but when you come down to it, there's nothing like Smeagol. There's nothing like My Precious. There's nothing like the Eye and Sauron and Gandalf. And I mean, listen, it is true D&D. That's what it is.
Okay.
For me.
All right.
All right. Ring for me.
I agree. All right. Magic Mike, go ahead. Lay it on me.
Are you sure you want me to go next, Moose?
Do you need me to go? Because I can.
You need to go. You need to go.
No, I don't need to go.
I haven't been swayed either way. I'm still going. Which way do I want to go? The seesaw.
Well, if I need to go, I'll be happy to. Let me just go ahead and clear the air. I'm gonna. Yeah. I'm out. Yeah. Listen, Lord of the Rings, definitely just a great movie. I love Lord of the Rings. I love what they have to offer. I love this movie. It made it to the top 4. It should have. It is an all-time classic. Peter Jackson did an amazing job when he did this movie. The actors in this movie are phenomenal. I just love every bit of it. They're all classic characters, and they can hold their own every time. I've got in these classic characters, I've got around my studio right now, I've got props from
Ali got what, 3 out of 6? 3 out of 7 weapons?
Yes. So I'm in on Lord of the Rings. That's not my pick, of course. It's going to be Star Wars: A New Hope. This is the leveling franchise, debut, movie versus movie. Star Wars, there was, Game God said there's nothing like, Lord of the Rings. There's nothing like Star Wars: A New Hope. I can remember being, in the theater seeing this. I can remember the anticipation. There was no, internet to spoil the fun for anybody. From A New Hope to Empire to Return of the Jedi. I mean, the only thing you had to worry about is your friend saying something. That was it. Now you got to worry about strangers saying something, and you'd even talk to that stranger. They just comes up at you, just, hey, guess what? Vader's his father. But in this instance, it's not even close. This is not even close. Star Wars, biggest franchise in pop culture history and movie history, the biggest franchise to have so much success, so many great characters, so many great props. I mean, look at the guy. Look at behind Game Gun. Look at the props he has of Star Wars.
Moose is putting it on. He's putting it on strong.
This is the way it is.
Can I rebuttal?
I see. No, you cannot. I see in the chat room, Alex says Lord of the Rings got his vote. Listen, I love Lord of the Rings. It's just not going to beat a New Hope. JP in the chat room. Look, I mean, ILM, John Williams music. I agree. Like there's just too much there. And if I start playing anything, I mean, look, the models to what a lightsaber that started it all. The lightsaber. Star Wars.
Listen. We can't go down this road of what it started, what came from it, because Game God said that he's already set that tone. So to talk about it's a lightsaber, you talk about ILM. I get all that. That's awesome stuff. This created a lot of things of what we have today when it comes to special effects. This started a lot of things, and I gotta tell you, coming into this conversation, I thought I knew what I wanted, and it's Alex. Unpopular opinion. I don't think you all give Star Trek enough credit. Listen, we gave Star Trek the credit that it deserved.
I love Star Trek.
I love Star Trek. I got Star Trek behind me.
The movies couldn't hold a candle to the other movie. That's the problem.
That is the truth.
Couldn't hold the weight versus the other sci-fi movies, and that's just the bottom line. I mean,
absolutely.
So
I come in listening to both you guys talk.
All right, I know.
And as I sit there and listen to myself, I'll go, okay, what am I watching? I'm going, okay. I'm choosing Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And as I'm sitting here,
I just crossed you off my crossing you off my
as I'm sitting here and we're having this conversation, I listen to Game God. Yeah, that's exactly why I'm choosing Lord of the Rings. I listen to Moose, I'm going, oh my gosh, I gotta change my vote. I gotta go with A New Hope. I gotta move New Hope forward to the top. But Moose says it's not close. That is absolutely untrue. This is so close that it's inches that Star Wars is moving over Lord of the Rings, because the movie, forget all this other stuff about, well, it started this, it started that. The movie of Lord of the Rings is an epic movie without question. And but unfortunately, yeah, it is that close. Moose swayed me, and it's going to be A New Hope.
There's a language that was created for this movie. Right? There's a whole this thing could have actually been
that language was created before this movie.
But it was for the movie. It's in the movie.
No, it's not for the movie.
It's not for the movie. It's in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tolkien created that language before.
Yeah, I understand that. So it's now to see it alive.
All right. So who's the better storyteller, Tolkien or George Lucas?
Oh, are we having a different podcast now? We just changed gears?
Wait a minute. Did the Final Four end?
I think Tolkien is a better storyteller.
I have a better question. Did the right Lord of the Rings movie make it to the Final Four?
No.
That's an awfully good question. I think Return of the King probably was the better.
Yeah.
So you're saying Return of the King would have took out New Hope?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you that.
It doesn't matter then.
Although I think I voted for. Anyway, it doesn't matter how.
Yeah, you got rid of it. It's all All made up. Hey. So Star Wars New Hope makes it into the final. All right. No surprise
there. A final 2 of all Star Wars.
All Star Wars.
Moose got what he wanted.
I feel
like I just got suckered, Game God.
I think so. You know.
Yeah.
And who's really pulling the strings here?
I just made all that up. He's
just pulling the strings right here. All right, so on the other side, Return of the Jedi versus The Force Awakens. Now, I got to tell you right now.
This is an interesting battle.
I'm going to let Moose go first here.
I love it.
This one hurts Moose.
This is not going to hurt me at all. It's win-win. Here's the deal. This is an interesting battle because on its own, this is movie versus movie. And I must tell you that, you know, when I think of movie versus movie, I love both of these movies. I think they deserve to be in where they're at. But I also think that The Force Awakens gave me so many feels. The Kylo Ren and the death of Han Solo, and all of that. But it's got to be Return of the Jedi, because Return of the Jedi gave me. I could probably quote the entire movie for the first 15 minutes and every word, and I could do it probably in the voice of the character. It's such an iconic piece from Boba Fett. Not Boba Fett, from Jabba the Hutt's palace, the Rancor, just, there's just so much there that from the opening scene for Return of the Jedi, and he's like, here he is, he's a commander, he's waiting for Vader's ship to approach. The Vader's ship approaches and goes inside the hangar, and he goes, Lord Vader, this is an unexpected pleasure. We're honored by your presence. You may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander. I'm here to put you back on schedule. And right there, you just go, this is incredible. This is an incredible movie. Return of the Jedi. One glove, one hand, Return of the Jedi.
One glove to rule them all?
Yes.
Hey, so Magic Mike, I got to counter his because he does have a pretty persuasive argument there. I got to go the other side. I got to go Force Awakens. And here's the reason why, right? The first time you seen a blaster stop in midair, right?
That was my reasoning for getting Force Awakens here.
All right. So that's number one. The music for Kylo Ren. When he walked in, epic. See Darth Vader's helmet in shambles, right? To see a new type of lightsaber, right? It's a brand new lightsaber, and it wasn't your it's like fire on the side, right? So it's a whole different lightsaber, right? Crackle, right? Moose said it in his opening argument there. The death of an icon, Han Solo, right? And no one saw that coming. No one, I don't care who you are, saw that Han Solo. And when they took Han Solo out, all of us felt that. We felt it. We all stopped breathing there for a second, right? Chewie, the most emotions that you seen. I think I saw Chewie crying when he was shooting on the way out, right? Just to see the mystery behind who was Rey, right? Go back to when you watched that in the theaters, because we all watched in the theaters opening weekend, right? Who's Rey? Is she part of Luke? Is she we didn't know, right? And to see how Kylo, when we found out, was the son to both Leia and Han, that epic right there.
All right.
And on top of that, when Kylo does kill Han Solo, oh man, he's bad. That's a bad dude right there. That's a bad dude right there. Hey,
that was Harry Silver. Yeah, exactly.
That's a bad. So for me, it's got to be the Force, right? And here's my closing comment on this whole thing, right? I get what you're saying, Moose. Return of the Jedi, epic. A lot of epic things in there happen. A lot of epic things. But it was off the shoulders of A New Hope, right? So Force Awakens had to reignite the whole series, right? People walked into there saying, oh, man, this can go either way. It could be good, could be bad. And when they left there When they left the theater that day, it was no different than leaving the theater after Infinity War when that movie ended. You left it like quiet, talking about it. I want the next one. I can't believe it. Yeah. Do you believe Star Wars is back?
I completely agree with you. And I left the theater and Return of the Jedi singing with the Ewoks.
Hey, you don't get a rebuttal. You don't get a rebuttal. You don't get a rebuttal.
Listen, I think it's time to move on to let Mike vote.
Okay, hurry up.
All right, let Magic Mike vote. Listen,
I didn't rush you, Magic.
I feel like I have an ulcer right now. I cannot with these movies. This Final Four, this is so difficult, and I can see in the chat room it is too because everybody stopped talking from what I can see because they're not sure either. Because everything that you guys are saying is absolutely correct. You have everything about the Return of the Jedi is my favorite one. But The Force Awakens brings everything back. It brings all that emotion back. It brings where you want to be, and it takes the movies in the right direction, at least at the time. You feel like you're going to the right direction. But so I really do not know which one I want to go with because this is so difficult for me thinking of all the stuff. Because my favorite at the very beginning moves a little past the opening scene for Return of the Jedi is when Luke is at the door and he's going and he uses, this is the first time you really get to see him use his Jedi powers.
Yes.
And you're just like, oh, I've been waiting for this. That's what makes it my favorite is because you get to see Luke grow up and become an actual true Jedi. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Do we have to answer this tonight? Oh man.
You've only had 2 weeks to really think about who you want it to be in.
I didn't think about it at all. I didn't want to. So here's what's gonna go. Either way, it hurts because I think these to me this is the battle. Just so you guys know, to me this is the battle, the number one battle. And but I'm gonna have to go with Return of the Jedi. It's my first true love of my favorites when it comes to Star Wars, and that feeling just doesn't leave that easily.
Bad decision, Magic.
It's not a bad decision, Magic Mike. It's a right decision.
I also want to go on record that Magic Mike has gone against every one of my choices. I want this audited. I want to recount. All right. So
if you recount, it might go the other way. So we probably shouldn't do that.
Hanging Chads. Here we go. All right.
So this is it. The sequel to the original, if you want to call it that. So you got
this is it. A New Hope versus The Force Awakens. There's plenty of, we've heard both sides already.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have to really think about this too much.
He went with Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Return of the Jedi. I apologize. Yeah. Return of the Jedi versus New Hope. I mean, this comes from the same trilogy. You've heard both sides. There's really not a lot to think about because we talked through it. We talked through everything.
Yes.
And I don't want to go first. I'd like to hear from Game God. I'd like to hear what he's saying.
Give me, because both my guys are out of it. I don't got no horse in this race.
Sure, you do.
I'm gonna go with just to keep it short and sweet. I'm going with Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
JP says A New Hope.
I'm going, guys. I'm going to go A New Hope, and the reason is because it's the granddaddy of everything, and I got to go New Hope, even though I love both movies.
So I want to go on record, Magic Mike. You're selecting this night every tiebreaker,
every winner. Yeah,
every winner. I have, yes, and I'm doing it again. So here we go. I've already told you what my battle was. Was already the number one battle was between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. And so with that being said, because of that, who went through, I'm going to Return of the Jedi to win, to win the overall war.
The only one he sided with me. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so Mike, listen.
Hey, as a matter of fact, whenever we close out here, I'm going to go out singing the Ewok song.
Give a little taste right now. So here it is.
No,
Return of the Jedi wins Battle of the Big Screen.
It's crazy when you go back and you think about all the movies we went through, and we went through some movies, and I think some of them were just mismatches from the get. Because I really think that Back to the Future should have been in the finals. And it went against a Star Wars movie too early. I just want you to know that.
That's right. I wonder. Yeah. Well,
and I want you to know, it lost to Empire Strikes Back, so it would have been in the finals.
Hey,
I want you to know
Empire
that.
Strikes Back should have been there too. I'm just telling you.
Nobody could complain because Star Wars made it through, and if you think about it, it was probably going to always make it through, no matter who they battled against.
No matter what.
It was great to see. Now I know that we've had some talk about doing something with shows or something like that. And that one's going to be interesting because there's a lot of shows out there.
There's a lot of shows
that can really tie into everything here. But I think that if you ask me about this, I think the wrong one won. But I'll take what I can get. Return of the Jedi.
Voted for it. You voted. You voted.
I had no choice at this point.
You voted for the other one.
I made my choices under duress.
Voted for the other one.
I was under duress when I made the choice.
Who did you think should have won?
All jokes aside. No, I was realistically, I didn't think Back to the Future, but I would have loved it. It's the granddaddy of time traveling. I think if we rewind time and go back to the 4, I think Force Awakens should have won. I think
I told you that was my number one battle.
Yeah,
Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. It should have been those two in the final.
I just think that I don't want to rehash what I said, but the Force Awakens just did so much for Star Wars. More so, I think, that what New Hope did. I think New Hope did now. Listen, I think New Hope is, like you said, granddaddy of them all, started it all, right? But I think that if there was no Force Awakens, Star Wars wouldn't be at where it's at right now in terms of revitalized. Right?
Hold on. Okay, so now you want to go out of
listen, hold on. Let me clear it up because maybe I didn't clear it right. I'm not saying Star Wars wouldn't be Star Wars without Force Awakens. That's not what I'm saying. So let me backtrack my words here. I think that it really brought forth a new generation into Star Wars that may or may not feel the same way that you guys feel about the older stuff, right? You know, we have the Luke, the Skywalker saga, right? That's the nine movies, right? It's 9 movies if I'm not mistaken. And it allowed the doors to be open to possibly something else beyond the Skywalker saga. I think that's what.
Yeah, but using that thought process, A New Hope is what started all of the Star Wars. There would be no generational conversation about Star Wars if we didn't have A New Hope.
Yeah, I mean the argument could be made both ways. I'm not saying it can't. I just think that there's more you at this point when the Force Awakens
bets. Unbelievable.
I think, but when you talk about Force Awakens, I think we've got so much invested into the Star Wars series at this point in time that to see the things that happen.
Here's the deal, game got it. Any of those I would take as a champion. I mean, that's the bottom line. The bottom line is that all those are worthy of a champion, and I do agree with that. Like Magic Mike said, I thought the first battle was the toughest. He thought the second. All of them are champions. They really are. They really are.
What does it say that Star Wars made it? All three Star Wars movie made it to the final 4. What does that say?
It's an incredible run. That means
it tells you we all got paid.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I'd like to say the sponsor of the podcast, Star Wars.
Yeah. All right, let's close out something because we are a lot over time, and I'm sorry, but we're way into this so deep. We got. Should we save House of the Dragon for next time?
Yes, let's save it for the next one.
Save it because I think there's more there than what we could elaborate on in the next 3 or 4 minutes. All right, we'll save House of the Dragon. We'll save it. We'll save it for our next podcast. I think this was a lot of fun. I love doing the Battle of the Big Show, but Big Screen, not Big Show. Big Screen.
Big Show. It's the Big Show.
It's the Big Show. We'll have to do something like that again in the future. But it's a little quiet out there in sci-fi world. A little quiet in the movies.
Wake them up.
Wake them up. Get some creative juices flowing. This isn't even a question, JP. Acolyte versus House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon. Not even a question. Acolyte isn't Star Wars. All right, let's that's my opinion. Let's do it again next week.
I was just leaving. Nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert.
You've been listening to Podcast for Sci-Fi with Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike. Nerds have more fun. If it's anything sci-fi, we're talking about it. We had fun, and we hope you did too. We have to split, but we'll be back soon. In the meantime, hit us up at podcast4sci-fi.com. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Come to life.